Making headlines tonight, a new fintech company to employ dozens of Barbadians. The fight against gender-based violence now has new hurdles to overcome. Another school joins the National Beautification's Clean and Green program. And in sports, Barbados win 2 more medals at the CAC Beach Games in Colombia.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Hello and welcome to the CBC NewsNight. I'm Lindy Burke. Dozens of Barbadians will be employed by the fintech company Paystone Incorporated next year. This was revealed during a media conference at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Center today. Chief Executive Officer Tariq Al-Ansari says 50 people will find jobs at the company and 5 have already been hired.
We're looking for the top 10 percentile and we're willing to pay for it. So we're matching or putting our wallet where our mouth is in terms of the caliber of talent that we want to attract and what comes with the responsibility and the accountability that we hold for these roles. And this is something, we're very, very excited about. So, and the team has been really impressed by the talent and the candidates that we've hired so far in terms of their ability to contribute and the addition that they have brought to the team.
Minister of Labour, Social Security and the Third Sector, Colin Jordan, said Paystone presents a different kind of employment.
Paystone is a fintech company, as Tariq has indicated, and we've been for quite some time wanting to get into that space. Those of us who follow news in the developed world, including North America, know that fintech, but not just North America actually, North America, but also on the African continent, fintech is that next space. And there are lots of companies into fintech. In Barbados, we don't have lots of companies that are pioneering in the area. And so when a company like Paystone indicates an interest in having either setting up operations in Barbados or employing Barbadians to work in their existing operations, then it presents for us an exciting opportunity.
The fight against the scourge of gender-based violence now has new hurdles to overcome. Some of them were revealed as the Bureau of Gender Affairs launched the 16 Days of Activism campaign against gender-based violence this morning at Sky Mall. Shane Jones has the details.
The 16 Days of Activism campaign was initiated during the first ever Women's Global Leadership Institute in 1991, and this year's theme is Unite Activism to End Violence Against Women and Girls. The Sky Mall location was chosen to increase awareness, and there were artistic presentations from Rye Minister and Cindy Celeste. Bureau of Gender Affairs Program Officer William Warner outlined some of the activities for the 16 days.
Tomorrow at Golden Square marks another attempt to raise the profile of the 16 Days of Activism, as the Ministry of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs will join with the Business and Professional Women's Club of Barbados to host an international fair and bazaar. This event has garnered the support of the various partners and stakeholders, and we look forward to having a great day. Some of us may recall in past times there were a number of activities on the calendar to mark the 16 Days of Activism. The motorcade, which used to be staged by the National Organization of Women now, generated much interest among the stakeholders. So too did Walk a Mile in Her Shoes. Women walk a mile in her heel shoes as a symbolic enactment of women's experience with sexualized violence. These were but some of the activities which were eagerly looked forward to, and the Bureau of Gender Affairs is committed to regaining that level of interest and enthusiasm as it relates to the commemoration of the 16 Days of Activism.
Head of the Institute for Gender and Development at the University of the West Indies, Dr. Halima Deshon, said the statistics point to gender being at the heart of specific cases of domestic violence.
I continue to observe how harmful ideologies of gender are institutionalized within our social systems and how these manifestations at both the societal and interpersonal levels persist. When men, for example, rationalize their violence against women as a consequence of women's presumed infidelity, as an effect of provocation by women, as a consequence of women's non-performance of domestic chores, or as a breach of some supposed arrangement of power in the household, gender is at the center of those explanations.
Now, during the feature address, Deputy Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of People Empowerment, Mark Franklin, said COVID-19 significantly impacted gender-based violence.
Countries had to, at some point, institute lockdowns to manage the spread of the virus. Women found themselves in households where there was no escape, even if temporary, from the perpetrator or potential perpetrators. It is therefore not surprising that many countries reported an increase in domestic abuse cases. Barbados was no exception. The Family Conflict Unit within the then Royal Barbados Police Force and the National Organization of Women both acknowledged that there was an increase in gender-based violence cases during the lockdowns.
The 16 Days of Activism campaign ends on December 10th. Shane Jones, CBC News.
Barbadians are in for a musical treat from one of the events that is part of the Independence Day celebrations. It's the Independence Day concert. One of the featured acts for the show is the 100-Voice Folk Choir. Joining us live now to share some more about it is musical director Ryan Boyce. Good evening to you, Mr. Boyce.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Now, what can we expect from this concert? What genres of music are we talking? Is it all Barbadian-based songs? What are we talking about?
Yeah, so the concert that's happening in Bristol on the 30th of November, I'm encouraging every Bajan around the place to come down 6 p.m. and the 100 Voice Project will be performing folk songs, for example, songs written and arranged by our own Roger Gittins. Our own Dr. Philip Ford has also submitted a piece. Our own Marlon Lee Gall has submitted a piece. And we've also had a touch of gospel inside of there. There will be spooge, of course, yes. There will be a little bit of Tuk, a little bit of Shango, all Barbadian pieces. And we're excited to deliver this.
Now, along with the music, where will the accompaniment be coming from? Can we expect some steel pan to accompany?
Yes, you seem to be reading our being part of our rehearsals. We've integrated as part of our chamber musicians, string quartet, members of the National Youth Orchestra. We have a panist as well too in there to add that Caribbean flavor, percussionists and some members of the Israel Lovell Foundation, keyboardists from across Barbados, flautists as well, hornmen. We've got a chamber set of musicians, professional in their own right. And, you know, when we heard them today, the entire 135-member choir got so excited. We can't wait until we get into Bristol to sing down the place. And we asked actually persons to come and join as well as we sing some of those familiar pieces as part of the concert.
So this is going to be like an old-time service of song type of session.
Service of song, because we're gonna feature that song "I Am Amazed" by our own Kean Walters, who's also part of the group, and we also have the 6 and 7 books of the Bible. So in case you don't know that spoof song, you better learn it between now and Wednesday, so that when I point to the audience, because you're going to join in with as an interaction with the choir and the band. I hope you know the Genesis and Exodus, Leviticus, but in spooge, of course. And we're looking to have fun. It is a time to celebrate our own, to come into our own music, and to enjoy the sound of lifting up our voices after such a little while inside of Bristol. It is independence after all. Come on, Barbados. We're looking forward to hearing you, seeing you, joining us in Independence Square at 6 o'clock, right after the Youth Orchestra and just before the big show as well.
Okay, we thank you so much, Mr. Boyce, for joining us. And we know that once you're in front directing, it is always lively as well.
So you sure bet to have some fun, yeah.
Yes. So thank you so much for joining us this evening, and we'll be sure to join you in the city. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Night, night.
And NIFCA's Genealogy Marketplace promises to be an event with a difference of the Independence calendar of celebrations. NCS Festival and event planner Stacey O'Brien says the event, which comes off at the Barbados Archives Department tomorrow at 9 in the morning, will have something for everyone.
The event will feature genealogy workshops, interactive talks, expo of the Barbados Carolinas connection with our film Josiah, exhibition of trailblazing women, storytelling by Gregory Fett, performances by Marlon Legal, Haynesville, and Dance in Africa. We even have a booth looking at the East Indian connection, a beautiful food court with Barbadian and African delicacies, hopscotch, wari, Chinese skit. Come on out, bring the children. It's going to be so much fun and it's all free. So I'm looking forward to seeing you this Saturday at the Barbados Archives Black Rock from 9 until 5 in the evening.
Coming up after the break, another school joins the National Beautification's Clean and Green program. Foundation has become the second school to be part of the Ministry of Environment and National Beautification's Clean and Green program. Following Comamir's induction into the project last week, the Churchill institution fulfilled the promise of Environment Minister Adrian Ford to bring more schools into the fold.
Students and teachers gathered to witness the planting of trees as the school officially became part of the Clean and Green initiative. Minister Ford told the students placing their focus on the environment can help them to deal with their frustrations.
When there is need for you to get angry, I want you to take out that anger and take that energy, excessive energy, and put it towards doing something good for the environment. So when you get vexed with your classmates, I want you to go outside. Take that excessive energy and anger and take up all the garbage around you. That's how I want you to use that energy. I want you to remove that negative energy and put it as a positive towards your environment. And I want you only to get vexed when you see persons harming the environment and doing the bad things.
Mr. Ford, who is also the constituency representative for the area, stressed the importance of actively taking care of the environment.
I want you to carry a message, because the only way that you can help your brothers and your sisters and the society at large is if you are able to put your hands to the plow and be involved in protecting your environment. It is the one thing that will cause this country to be able to survive all the threats that we know, as climate change, increased temperatures, increased acidification of the ocean, all those things, all those bad things we hear about. The only way we can change it is if each one is able to help one.
Principal of the school, David McCarthy, urged the students to look after the gift they've been granted.
This is done for your benefit primarily. This is for you, and this is also for the students to follow after you, even your own children down the road, because life is a cycle. And even as I stand here and I see members from the ministry, two of them have identified that I'm their former teacher from another school. So it just goes to show you how things work out over time. So care for this space, care for the entire space that is Christchurch Foundation School.
The Clean and Green project will continue at schools and communities across the island. Shane Jones, CBC News.
Patriotism was on show at Grantley Prescott Primary as the school recognized the contributions of the man whom the school was renamed after, the late Grantley Prescott, the designer of Barbados' national flag. As part of its independence celebrations, students led by teachers and decked out in national colors visited the gravesite of the late Prescott to lay flowers. A parade was also staged through the neighboring St. Michael community where Mr. Prescott grew up. The day was a special one as Friday marked the 15th anniversary of the renaming of the then Pine Primary School. Principal Belinda Martindale says the independence activity was a learning one for the students as the school shone the spotlight on Grantley Prescott.
Grantley Prescott actually came from this area, and not many students, if any at all, and even some of their parents and guardians don't know where he actually grew up. So this morning we're going to go on a community walk around the neighborhood, and we're going to actually go on the highway where we're going to show where the house is, where the house that he actually grew up in.
Sports time now, and I say good evening to Damien Best.
Yeah, thanks so much, Wendy. Good evening to you. Good evening to our viewers and listeners. Well, Barbados have added 4 more medals to their tally, 3 silver and a bronze at the inaugural CAC Beach Games in Santa Marta, Colombia. Top surfers Chelsea Tuat and Josh Burke both captured silver. Burke finished the finals of the men's shortboard competition with a 13.80 score to take the second position behind Puerto Rico's Dwight Pastrana, whose heat total was 16.30. Third went to another Puerto Rican, Ricardo Delgado Rodriguez. Burke said it was an honor to do well for his country.
Super honored to be here representing my island Barbados, and should honestly be a gold medal around my neck, but it is what it is, and I did my job and proud to be here wearing the silver medal.
Meanwhile, Tuat surfed a strong final to claim the silver in the women's shortboard competition with a total of 9.47. The winner was Colombia's Isabella Maria Gomez Brady with a 10.40 heat total. And third was Venezuela's Rosana Alvarez. Of note, Barbados' Chelsea Ruitt was also in the final and finished a commendable 4th place. Tuat spoke about her performance.
I really enjoyed myself. I think the whole team Barbados did exceptionally well. Josh and I won silver, and overall I think my experience was great. The waves were definitely a challenge at Casa Grande, but it was a great new experience and definitely motivates me to do it again next year and hopefully get the gold next time. My overall performance I was extremely happy with. I won all of my heats up to the final and won the main final before the grand final with the highest scores of the event, and was definitely very happy with my performance. I knew that I could win gold, but in the final it just didn't happen, so motivation for next year, but really happy with my performance and my overall experience at these first games.
And today the men and women's beach rugby teams picked up silver and bronze respectively. The women in their final match went down to eventual winners, host Colombia 12-0, but were able to secure the podium finish. Meanwhile, the men reached the final and played host Colombia and lost 13-5, but were in on the hardware. Barbados' medal tally now stands at 5 as these 4 are added to the bronze from wrestler Ruben Wiltshire earlier in the week. Congrats to the entire team.
In tonight's business report, the senior students at Grantley Adams Memorial School are being given both the tools and the skills to be able to run a business in the cosmetology sector. To give them practice and exposure to the public as part of the Caribbean Vocational Qualification CVQ, the students will open the salon for business once per month. It may only be level 1 training for CVQ cosmetology program, but the teachers at Grantley Adams Memorial School are equipping the students not only for an exam, but a possible career.
The students will be assessed in the level 1 standard. Today we are open to the public, and it is the hope that we will get the students to become comfortable and confident while they practice their skills, hone their craft, and create an entrepreneurial strategy.
The program also caters to male students.
We have boys in the program, which is barbering. They're not here today. We will have a Saturday for the boys. This is our first Saturday, so we started with the girls, and we are offering manicures, pedicures, and natural hairstyles.
Principal Major Andrew Skeet is thrilled with the opening of the salon because it means that students have another employment option.
To be honest, I am extremely happy, very, very happy for today's event, today's activity. I think it was a long time in coming and something that we were speaking about for a while. So when Miss Elliott came to me and said, sir, myself, Mr. Lovell, and Ms. Trotman, we believe that we can open one Saturday a month in the first instance to give our children the opportunity to experience what it is like to work in a real salon, a working salon, with individuals that they do technically may not know, right? Real customers. I said, yeah, go ahead. All right, just go right ahead. I think this falls in line with another activity that Ms. Elliott is responsible for in our School to Work program, where we send children out to work.
The students will continue the public sessions to help them get a full understanding of what is expected from customers. Supply issues are at the forefront of challenges confronting the local automotive industry. That's according to Sam Gaston, the regional product manager at multi-brand dealer Courtesy Garage. He told the Business Report doing business in these times is not easy.
The last 2 years have been very trying, not only for Courtesy and for the automotive industry, but there's issues with supply. Up to today, we are still having those issues, but the future is bright, and we are looking forward to the challenge, like as we've overcome many over the years. Looking forward to overcoming the current challenge of being able to supply vehicles.
Time now for our second half of sports with Damien Best.
Thanks so much, Wendy. Well, West Indies need 274 runs if they want to claim victory over the Australian Prime Minister's 11 in their final warm-up match before the start of the first test against Australia. Playing in Canberra, the Windies closed day 3 on 35 without loss, replaying to the Prime Minister's 11's 322 and 221 for 4 declared. Actually, the Windies started the day on 234 for 7 in their first innings and just added a single run as Jaden Seals went for a duck. Raymond Reefer was absent, hurt, and Kemar Roach was left not out without a single run to his name. Well, knowing the task ahead and needing some crucial batting time in the middle, skipper Craig Brathwaite says this fourth innings will be crucial in building confidence ahead of next week's first test in Perth.
I think it's necessarily a change of mindset. I believe, if you bat normal, we could still score at 3 runs and all that stuff. Because the pitch is good, obviously outfield is fast. So I won't say it's a change in mindset. I think once we do the disciplines right, I think we'll do well. But as I said, the first over is crucial, and we can't think about the result. We just take care of session by session, and the day will take care of itself.
The way Matt and Pete batted out there today, particularly into T tonight, tells you it's a good day, like you say.
Yeah. Still a good pitch. Obviously, the guys batted well, to be honest. But we can't get carried away. We can't just say the pitch is good and we will score. You have to go there and work hard. You know we're going to come hard, especially the first session. So we got to come and I say put our heads down and really fight.
That's the news. Good night.
Thanks for visiting us. To get more stories like this one, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.